being an Australian icon is tiring work. It's feeding time for these devils on Tasmania's east coast. Border closures have eaten into this park's business. Before the pandemic, up to 70% of its visitors came from overseas.
We do rely a lot on international guests, and they do love our Australian native animals as well.
Many of those visitors came from China during the country's Golden Week holiday, but last year the tourist tap was quickly turned off.
Now, we were getting up to 6-7 bus tours a week, if not more, and pretty well that got switched off straight away.
China was Australia's largest source of visitors and tourist dollars in 2019. There were 1.4 million short-term arrivals. Nearly 800,000 of those were here for a holiday, and they spent $3.3 billion. Winter is off-season in Tasmania, so fewer tourists are to be expected. But some operators are worried that even when international borders reopen, the diplomatic chill with China could see fewer visitors. This lavender farm was once popular with many Chinese tourists, even President Xi Jinping.
He was given one of our bears as a present from the government. Now, that was what seems like a long time ago now, and we started to notice a cooling off in the quality of the relationship.
The owner, Robert Ravens, is already sowing the seeds beyond China for when borders reopen. He recently attended a meeting with the Japanese ambassador and hopes to capitalise on increased interest from India.
To me, the next steps for tourism from a Tasmanian, from our business perspective, Japan number one, Indian subcontinent number two, and then perhaps thinking publicly and openly about the impact of Indonesia and Korea on tourism.
A Tourism Australia survey in May found less than half of the Chinese respondents saw Australia as a safe place to travel.
I think Chinese tourists will be influenced by some government directives.
It comes after Beijing issued an alert last year, warning tourists of an increase in racist attacks.
Unless we can build a good relationship with the Chinese government, we should not expect they will send tourists to us, definitely.
The government says it's not concerned.
On the ground, everything that we're hearing is that there is still a real keenness from Chinese tourists to travel to Australia. The wonderful products that we have here in Australia have not changed.
The water temperature is sort of like probably about 6 to 8 degrees.
One of the most popular products is seafood, including oysters and other delicacies.
Particularly people of Chinese heritage loved our food, and specifically seafood, whether it was abalone, oysters, mussels, scallops.
While local visitors are enjoying the oysters for now, the farm manager thinks Chinese travellers will return.
Ultimately, Tasmania's produce is highly sought after, and I believe they'll come back once everything is back to normal.
A taste of Australia he hopes hasn't been forgotten.